on the Bossman show from the Believe in Kentucky podcast with Tony Delk, who I watched play Arkansas in '95 in the tournament at the Georgia Dome. That big overtime game they had then. It's my man Vinny Hardy, who's representing the BBN, the Big Blue Nation. What's good, bro?
Bossman, man, appreciate you having me. Everything's good on this weekend. Just about to eat some good meatloaf and macaroni and cheese here in a minute when I get done with this. Man, I'm good.
I hear
Appreciate
that.
you having me, man.
No doubt, Vinny. I gotta tell you something. Now, for me, the BBN could mean something. I went to Tennessee State. We are the Big Blue TSU, so I could say it means the Big Blue TSU Tigers. But I'm gonna respect Kentucky and let y'all have it for the day.
I appreciate it. That's kind of you, man. Appreciate you letting us have it for this segment.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Vinny, tell us about this. I talked to Coach Barbie, as you saw last week, who's now the coach of Central Michigan. So Cal's has turnover on his staff. Another coach went to Arizona State out there. He brought in assistants from Illinois. Tell us about Cal's assistants he got now and about how happy you are to see Coach Barbie get a job at Central Michigan now and move on and get him a head coaching gig again after being with Cal for 7 years.
It was good, cool with the new guys coming in, but look, you look at the season they just had. We know about COVID, we know about everything, but 9-16 at Kentucky, we had to go so far back in the regular books to find last time they was this bad. We had to go back 95, 96 years, 1926, last time they had seasons like this. So that wasn't going to fly. Some changes had to be made. You had to show that you were going to be ready to fix it. So the staff changes did take place. Joel Justice took position at Arizona State with Bobby Hurley. Tony Barbie, who had been there for a minute, was looking to get another job anyway. And his name had come up the past couple of years. He gets the head coaching job at Central Michigan. So definitely wish them the best. Jay Lucas had come in last year, and now you bring in Orlando Antigua, who was there back in 2012, back in 2015, back when they won the title and went 38-1. He had been a head coach. It didn't go well. He had done well at Illinois. He comes back, and then Chen Coleman, who was on the staff of Illinois, comes in as well. They weren't really a package deal, but of course, Chen talked to O, and O told him, how special Kentucky was. So you bring both of those guys in, and you rejuvenate your staff without like chopping heads off and firing dudes, but yet you still made changes the way I look at it. Joe Justice moves on. Tony Barbie moves on. You're coming off a 9-16 season. You can't just stand pat. You gotta something had to be done, and so stuff got done as guys moved on. Is the kind of way I look at it.
Yeah, because it's like, I didn't really fire you. I kind of already told you to find something else, and we'll play it this way. Because, of course, my man Tony Barbie ain't going to say that when I talk to him about that, or Cal ain't going to say it out loud. But look like to me, hey, because you just don't leave Kentucky unless you have to, right? So, like, okay, yeah, guys, you kind of the poop and ice cream, maybe. We got to move you on, and we got to get this going here, and I got to give me some more nice suits and be a gangster like I am.
Yeah, you got to get it back. And the year before this, Dwayne Peavy leaves, who's the assistant AD, which was like the right-hand man, the scheduling, and him and Cal were really tight. And then he goes to take the AD position at DePaul. You can't blame him for that. He's always wanted to be an AD. Hopefully he comes back and, is successful and can replace Mitch Barnhart if that, and he can be the AD of Kentucky if things go well. That's the hope. Kenny Payne goes to the Knicks. He was instrumental in the development of the big men. We saw Willie Cauley-Stein, PJ Washington, Boogie, all the bigs that came through AD. He's doing the same thing with the Knicks. So that was a loss as well. Bruce Flint came in last year. So it's been a lot of shuffling around. Stuff wasn't really right last year. You throw in a pandemic, throw in no preseason. Maybe it's a perfect storm. Now you kind of get guys, the staff realigned where you want. You've added some pieces in recruiting that fit and make sense based off of your weaknesses last year. Look like you've corrected a lot of that. So things are kind of back on course so far.
I hear that. And now, how many spots Cal has open for scholarships right now, Vinny? Is it all filled up, or he's still in the portal trying to find some guys?
I think there's one more. I don't know if he's going to fill it or not. Isaiah Jackson did stay in the draft. He was, kind of deciding what he's going to do. He decided yesterday he's going to keep his name in the draft. They're still kind of waiting to see what Davion Mintz is going to do. He was, came in, transferred last year from Creighton as the combo guard. He ended up playing point at the end of the season. And Keon Brooks is back as well. So I think that was more just the fan base panicking because he hadn't said anything. But and he's from Indiana, and we saw Woodson get hired there, and Indiana fans kind of drummed up rumors that Keon's going to transfer back to IU, but Keon Brooks is back. So now they're just kind of waiting to see what Davion Mintz does, and if they add another piece, cool. But they're in a lot better shape, even if they don't make any other additions, regardless of what Mintz does. They got a lot better shooting. They should be a lot better in the backcourt. Got some more playmakers, which was a big issue last year. That was the thing. Clark in Boston, and maybe Clark, rest in peace, they didn't click as like you thought. We've seen, freshmen at Kentucky click every year.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, it's a wonder this doesn't happen more with Cal. You got all these freshmen come in and you get them clicking throughout the season. It didn't happen last year. Devin Askew classed up, and he was in over his head. He never, couldn't handle running the team. He's transferred on to Texas. Speaking of Chris Beard and all them, he's moved on. But the guard position is a lot better. You got more shooting. You got Severe Wheeler from Georgia, who led the SEC in assists at Georgia. He should be even able to get more dimes at a more efficient clip coming to Kentucky with the pieces that are in place there. Ty Washington can come in. They can play together. They can alternate. They can, sub for each other. So it's looking better. Things are looking like Cal's riding the ship.
I hear that, Vinny. Now I got to deal with one of Cal's guys right now here in the late ATL, Julius Randle. I don't know how much you watched the series, Vinny, but it looked like, I'm going to say it. Tom Thibodeau's getting out-coached by Coach Nate McMillan right now because Tom Thibodeau does not make any adjustments. He's stubborn. It's like, I'm running this 90s offense, 90s defense. It's what it's going to be. It's the same play, side pick and roll, middle pick and roll with Derrick Rose or Julius Randle, but Randle's getting walled off, and you're hoping other guys can make shots. And I'm like, Randle said that, he said that the Garden crowd kind of spooked him a little bit. He was kind of affected by that. So I'm like, you played at Kentucky, bro. You should be used to this. So what are your thoughts on Randle against the Hawks, man, and seeing you get all these UK guys in the playoffs right now?
It's even for a lot of Kentucky fans that used to just be college basketball fans, seeing so many guys to the league has caused them to kind of jump into the NBA a little bit and embrace the NBA. And a lot of them have jumped on the Knicks because you got, so many UK guys up there. Nerlens Noel, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickley, Kevin Knox, Kenny Payne just went up there. So there's a lot of Worldwide West was tight with Cal. So there's a lot of Kentucky flavor there. I remember, reading before the series started, they were going to have trouble with Capella on the boards. He was, his size was the problem for them. Trey doing what he was doing. I didn't know if he would have that much success, but in that, being his first playoffs, but he hasn't missed a beat. And as soon as he turned the corner in game one, you knew that floater was a bucket. And, they immediately panned on Spike Lee, and he looked like, I done seen this movie before. I'm a great director, but I've seen this movie before. So I think it's going to be a long series, Knicks and Hawks. So far, they've alternated wins. Wouldn't surprise me if New York figures out a way to even things up tomorrow, and it's 2-2. I think it's going to be a long series. This is a 4-5 matchup as it is, so usually they're coin flip type of series because their teams are usually evenly matched. But as far as Tibbs getting out coached, look, man, Nate McMillan, I don't know why he got the boot in Indiana. I know he had more. I know you got to get out the first round. I get that. They were a little frustrated. But look at Indiana now, got blown out in the playing game. Then you can't get out the first round if you can't get to the first round. And they didn't make it to the first round this year. And look what Nate did with the Hawks. I mean, turn them around. How long's he been there? 40 games.
Yeah, he got the job on March the 1st after they fired Lloyd Pierce in Miami.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit. He wins wherever he's at. He's all about defense, and that's the way he was as a player. He kind of reminds me a lot of Joe Dumars. I'm quiet. I'm gonna lock you down. I'm hard nosed. I'm physical, and I just go about my business. And to me, he coaches that way. And that kind of rubs off on the teams he coaches. You still letting Trey out there be flashy and shoot his 25, 28 footers and do his thing. But everything else is kind of tightened it up and solidified it. And man, he's just a good coach, man. I don't think he gets the love he deserves, but he just does his thing wherever he's at.
See, this is my thing, Vinny. This is just me being around coaches as much as I have. If you know Trae Young is weak defensively, put him into action. He's hiding on the weak side on Bullock or Burks or Barrett. He's hiding in the corner, weak side.
Yeah.
But Tibbs, it's the same play. Middle or side pick and roll with Randall or Rose. And hope they break it down and then make it into them in rotation. And see, the Hawks run what we call a drop coverage, or they stunt, or they do a hard hedge and recover. So you can't really get them in rotation. So you need to run pick and rolls with Bullock and get Trae Young in action.
Right.
And I'm no coach, but I know what to do to make to get this thing going a different way from me. Because the Hawks are pretty much walling off, building a wall against the side pick and roll with Randall or Rose. And if I can see that, you mean tell Tibbs can't see it?
It's to not be coaches. Sometimes you wonder how we see stuff and they don't see it, or don't make adjustments when you think it's weird. And these guys are getting paid and they played and they're experts and they're this and that. I don't know. It's
funny.
Like you said, stubborn and hard-headed is a lot of it too.
You know what's funny, Vinny? It's like when you see guys like Tibbs, when they get those TV jobs, they sound so knowledgeable about the game, and then they get back to coaching. They go back to doing their old stuff. Oh yeah, he should have did this, and this. Okay on TV, you can break it down. I guess you put your words to practice when you're actually the head coach.
That makes sense.
If you can talk about this as an analyst, so you also know what to do. I want you to do it.
That's true. That's a good point.
For me, as a host, I've had to change my style. When I was young and raw, the hood in me came out.
You was giving them all that boss man.
Yeah. So I had to refine myself, making some adjustments. So
that's
So
you learn.
I know. See, I learned from my rawness back in the day. Okay, I can't be the hood boss man all day, all the time, and keep going on radio. I can't do that, obviously. So I learned. It's like, so like for me, adjustments are so key. Like Eric Spoelstra, they got swept, makes adjustments. Mike Budenholzer, who was here at the Hawks, refused to make adjustments. And so with Jenkins in Memphis, refused to make it, and they came from that Budenholzer tree. So it blows my mind. I see certain coaches who I know will not adjust. Like look Ty Lue last night. Ty Lue benched Patrick Beverly. Went with Batum, Rondo, with Kawhi, Paul George, and Terrence Mann to find something that worked. Last year, Doc Rivers went with Montrezl Harrell and Pat Beverly and got beat by them 3 games in a row. So it's like you just see how guys think about the game, who's going to make a change to win. Forget your ego, forget who makes the most money. I want to win.
Exactly. And if you got all the pieces over there, mix up and find the combination to find something that works. It might not be what you game plan or what you thought, but if it's hot, roll with it.
Like I said, I'm no fan of Bill Belichick, but hell, he tries to win the game. whatever needs to be done to win the game. You know, he's not married to a system per se, or married to, hey, it has to be this way. I just want to win the game.
Yeah.
So coaches like that, man, I love. So I'm just like, I'm looking for to see what the Knicks do tomorrow against the Hawks, because I'm pretty sure the Hawks gonna be prepared for something different. Well, knowing T is probably not too much different, but I know they prepared for a little some wrinkle here or there. And Noel, I was like, Noel's injured, but he played like a lot of minutes as well. And I'm just like, look, I don't know what it's about Derrick Rose, and this is maybe Vinny. I'm going to the next level with it. Stockholm syndrome. You remember Derrick Rose? He got you hurt in that playoff game by having you out there. You was up by 14. He hurt, tore up your knee the first time. Well, you shouldn't even been out on the court, tore up his knee and late in the game. And like, I would never play with that man again in my life. That's just me.
Right. Yeah.
He had me out there, and we was gonna win the game. I'm out there. I blew my knee less than 2 minutes of a game. Really?
Mm-hmm. Now that's been his thing forever too. Just wearing guys down. Too many minutes usage. That was his thing. What?
In Chicago, yeah.
Just grinding guys, man. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And he revert back to, some of those old habits. I guess it's hard to break them for these guys.
And somebody asked me this question that it ain't Randall's gassed out. I mean, it's possibly he plays for Thibodeau. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think this, has you not signed Derrick Rose or traded for him, or you should still play Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox should be getting some run. You still be where you are, and Todd Gibson, you still be where you was at.
Yeah.
But he's those veteran guys, But
yeah.
I do wonder, is Noel and Randall, have they been ran to the ground and he finally hit the wall? That's a question I do have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's when that kind of stuff shows up. This time of year is when that tread, you look up and that tread is low.
Tire pressure low. Need an oil change. Check the lights on.
That's it. All
Indeed.
them signs, boy.
Yes, indeed. Well, Vinny, thank you for your time, brother. Let's check you out the Kentucky Wildcats, the BBN. Bro, when it comes to Atlanta, let me know, bro. I can hook up, brother, for real, man.
Oh, man, you know it, man. Boss man, appreciate you having me and all the success you've been doing, man. Keep it up. And thanks for letting me hop on here and chop it up, talk a little UK, a little NBA, man. I enjoyed it.
No doubt. Check my man out on the Believe in Kentucky podcast. He does other podcasts too. Check my man out on Twitter at Vinny Hardy. Check my brother out. He'll give you the know about the Big Blue. For real. Check my man out.